भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Thank you, Neeraj sir. Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good afternoon,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes, ma'am.
also came
ma'am.
back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
ma'am.
came back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes, ma'am.
also came
ma'am.
back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
came
ma'am.
back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
ma'am.
came back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
came
ma'am.
back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
came
ma'am.
back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
ma'am.
came back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir and ma'am. Good afternoon.
Actually, I'm parallel with the biology session also getting close now.
भाई मिथुन तो अभी एसएसटी में था, अभी इधर आ गया।
Close that, yes. Sir.
मैंने कहा कि अब चलो यहाँ वैलिडिक्टरी तैयार हो गया।
Thank you, Bharti sir.
Good
So I
afternoon,
Yes,
also
ma'am.
ma'am.
came back here.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
प्रज्ञा।
Good afternoon, sir.
मैडम नमस्ते। मैडम नमस्ते।
नमस्ते मैडम।
मैडम नमस्ते।
मैडम नमस्ते।
नमस्ते नमस्ते, मैं म्यूट करके बैठी हुई थी। नमस्ते।
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते मैम।
नमस्ते मैडम। मैडम नमस्ते।
नमस्कार नमस्कार।
नमस्ते मैडम। नमस्ते मैडम।
मैडम नमस्ते।
हाउ वाज योर न्यू लर्निंग
नमस्ते
अशोक?
मैडम।
हाउ वाज योर लर्निंग इन
मैडम
हिंदी?
फैंटास्टिक मैडम,
नमस्ते
बहुत ही
नमस्ते,
न्यू
मैं म्यूट
लर्निंग हुआ
करके
मेरे
बैठी
लिए
हुई
और मैंने बहुत कुछ
थी।
सीखा है।
इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी।
नमस्ते मैडम।
जी यस
इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच।
यस, आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू मैम फॉर दिस गिविंग अस दिस
हाउ वाज योर न्यू
अपॉर्चुनिटी टू
लर्निंग अशोक?
लर्न मोर इन अदर
हाउ वाज
सब्जेक्ट्स।
लर्निंग इन
मैडम
हिंदी? यस।
फैंटास्टिक
यस
मैडम,
मैम।
मेरा
बहुत ही
हम लिंक
न्यू
भेज देते हैं
लर्निंग
आपको।
हुआ मेरे लिए
मैंने दिया होगा तो
और
आपको लग रहा
मैंने
होगा कि
बहुत कुछ
आज
नहीं
है
सर,
सीखा है।
नहीं दूसरा है।
जी नहीं मैडम, आई
इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी।
ऑलवेज टेक एवरीथिंग पॉजिटिव। यस, आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू यू। मैं हमेशा
बहुत
उसमें
अच्छा।
पॉजिटिव ढूंढता हूँ कि क्या उसमें अच्छा हो सकता है मेरे लिए, और मैंने बहुत कुछ
वेरी
सीखा
गुड।
है मैडम आज। जी
वेरी गुड वेरी गुड।
मैडम नमस्ते।
नमस्कार जी नमस्कार। कैसा रहा साहू जी?
बहुत बढ़िया, एक बहुत फैंटास्टिक मैडम, वंडरफुल एंड एक्सेलेंट।
एक्सेलेंट।
एक्सेलेंट मैडम, एक्सेलेंट।
इस बार मेरे एक विद्यार्थी को केमिस्ट्री में 100 आया, पहली बार।
कंग्रेचुलेशंस मैडम।
Congratulations.
थैंक यू थैंक यू
कंग्रेचुलेशन मैडम।
ये बच्चे को आया।
थैंक यू सर, आप तो बड़ा कांग्रेचुलेशन हमको दिए हुए हैं।
नहीं, आपको आपको स्पेशल मिलना है क्योंकि आप अच्छा हैं आगे।
Why we are not starting? Mishra ji is there. आज मैंने दो प्रिंसिपल्स का प्रेजेंटेशन देखा, एक अशोक जी का और
मैडम आज गुड इवनिंग।
एक झा जी का।
नहीं, कैसा रहा? नौकरी बचेगी कि खतरे में है? बताइए, कुछ तो बोली। टेल मी। आप सचमुच में देखी थी कि नहीं देखी थी? मुझे नहीं पता। इसके सिन्हा जी थे थ्रू आउट, सो आप देखी थी कि नहीं मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन?
आपका प्रेजेंटेशन अभी देखेंगे। आप भी बोल रहे हैं इतना पुराना प्रिंसिपल, यू आर द एक्नॉलेज्ड लीडर इन योर फील्ड।
झा सर, थोड़ा मैडम से सुनना चाहते हैं ना। नौकरी को बोले हैं तो कुछ सोच के बोले हैं। उस बार नहीं देखी थी, एक बार भेजे थे तो मैडम बोली इस बार जरूर देखेंगे। तो मैडम का रिमार्क कुछ आया नहीं, खराब अच्छा जो चलिए शाम तक बोल दीजिएगा मैडम, या कॉन्फिडेंशियल ही लिख लीजिएगा, कोई ऐसा बात।
सेशन दिया, झा जी का भी सेशन जो लास्ट का मेरे रिक्वेस्ट पे इन्होंने दिया, वो बहुत अच्छा सेशन था। आई वांट ऑल द कोऑर्डिनेटर्स टू गो फॉर द कंक्लूडिंग सेशन। बहुत अच्छा होगा ये सारे जो कोऑर्डिनेटर्स हैं ना।
दैट वाज योर सजेशन
और
मैडम।
मॉडरेटर।
नमस्ते मैडम।
यू
मैडम मैडम एक
नमस्ते
सर, एक मैडम वो नोटिस जब देते हैं उसी समय डाल दीजिए मैडम। सब कोई को लेना कंपलसरी कर दिया, अच्छा रहेगा मैडम। बहुत शुक्रिया।
कंक्लूडिंग सेशन बहुत जरूरी है
हाँ
कि
जी
आप क्या
मैडम।
पाए और कैसे लर्निंग को ट्रांसफर किया जाए,
जी
ये
मैडम।
बहुत जरूरी है। और
जी जी
मॉडरेटर जो है, जो ऑब्जर्वर है, उनको भी।
जी जी।
मिश्रा जी, सिन्हा जी
मैडम
नहीं
नमस्ते।
आएंगे?
बस
नमस्कार।
सिन्हा सर का ही वेट हो रहा है मैडम। अभी को नमस्ते, सिन्हा सर का ही वेट हो रहा है मैडम।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर, नमस्ते।
नमस्ते सर। नमस्ते सर।
फ्रॉम डीएवी गुमला।
हाँ हाँ नमस्ते।
My principals, they don't know, they don't need introduction.
नमस्ते मैडम, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मैडम, बहुत बहुत बधाई मैडम, बढ़िया से कंपल्सन एक कंप्लीट करने के लिए।
तुम तो हमसे बाद में बात करना, तुमको हम अभी नहीं बात करेंगे।
सॉरी। बहुत अच्छा रहा मैडम, बहुत अच्छा रहा। एक ललक होती है, भूख लगती है, लगता है कहाँ का कहाँ चले जाएं। हम लोग कुछ छोड़ करके अशोक सर का भी सुन रहे थे, कभी कभी उनका भी घुस जा रहे थे कुछ 1 मिनट के लिए। लग रहा था कितना इसमें भाषा जैसे।
तुम अपने घर में आधा घंटा से ज्यादा में खाना खाता है क्या?
नहीं, ज्यादा नहीं लगता, 2-4 मिनट में हम लोग खा लेते हैं मैडम, लेकिन
तब and we will not keep workshop on Sundays.
हाँ, ये अच्छा डिसीजन है।
मैं आप ही इन्हीं लोग का जिद था, आपके दोनों प्रिंसिपल्स का। मेरा तो हम अपने टीचर्स का कभी संडे नहीं लेना चाहते हैं। अब हम
मैम जुलाई में
छुट्टी देंगे, हम इन टीचर्स को एक लीव देंगे।
Madam, the teachers the schools who were center for NEET also have been working on all Sundays of July.
So, मैडम नीट में तो पैसा मिला, इसलिए
पैसा से नहीं टीचर्स बहुत मेहनत करे मैम।
लेकिन हाँ, संडे मैंने अपोज किया था। आई डोंट लाइक माई टीचर्स, तो आई गिव माई टीचर्स लीव। मेरे जोन के सभी टीचर्स को एक लीव 3 महीना के अंदर उनको खत्म कर लेना है।
All the teachers have worked, all these.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much.
It's not for principal, it's only for teachers.
Doesn't matter, ma'am. Doesn't matter.
But the principals were there on all the Sundays. Teachers were there alternating, like some Sundays, and some were there for one and some were there for another. But some of
actually देखो क्या है ना, टीचर्स के साथ वो समय से बंधे रहते हैं। हम लोग तो फिर भी कभी कभी अपने समय पे भी निकल के कहीं कुछ को आते हैं, so they need it.
True, Sundays should not be as it is. We don't have 5 days. We have 6 days.
ये बाद में भी डिस्कस कर लेंगे हम लोग। ये कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म पर
while we waited for you, we were discussing, sir. You are welcome, sir.
सर जी
नमस्ते सभी को।
सर नमस्ते सर।
मैडम
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
सिन्हा जी के इंतजार में बहुत गप हो गया।
मैडम नमस्ते।
जी
सर आ गए ना?
नमस्कार। मिश्रा जी शुरू करो।
ठीक है मैडम, विद योर परमिशन प्लीज।
परमिशन टू द चेयर, परमिशन लीजिए फ्रॉम द चेयर।
ले लिया मैडम से परमिशन ले लिया।
Thank you, ma'am. Urmila ma'am. Thank you, Mishra sir. And with your permission, may I begin? A very warm good afternoon to all of you. I'm Sumana Brahma, signing in from the verdant premises of DAV Public School, NIT Campus Adyapur. And on behalf of our Honorable Principal Sir, come ARO of DAV Public Schools of Jharkhand, Zone A, Shri O.P. Mishra Sir, staff and the students. I need to intervene for a second. I think, would I request all of you to kindly mute your mics? Please mute your mobiles. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And on behalf of our Honorable Principal Sir, come ARO of Jharkhand Zone A, Shri O.P. Mishra Sir, staff and the students, I extend a very warm and cordial welcome to Honorable Dr. Urmila Singh, ARO cum Cluster Head of DAV Public Schools that fall under Jharkhand Zone D, Honorable Shri M.K. Sinha Sir, ARO cum Cluster Head of DAV Public Schools of Jharkhand Zone B, respected principals, resource persons, and the teaching faculty of all the participating schools to this valedictory ceremony of the capacity building program for the senior secondary level teachers held under the aegis of DAV Center for Excellence, New Delhi. Being a participant myself, I must express my sincere gratitude to DAV CAE for facilitating this excellent platform whereby we can freely create, ideate, and innovate in multifarious ways to satiate the knowledge pangs of our students who are sitting at the cusp of an information revolution and look up to their teachers to navigate them through these choppy waters. After all, leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. And the beauty of learning is that nobody can take it from you. And to ascertain where we all stand on the learning curve as envisioned in the first phase of CBP 2022, may I now request Honorable Urmila ma'am. She's the guiding light. She's the unifying force behind this remarkable endeavor to shed light on her observations, which ma'am has gathered in the course of her visits to each and every virtual classroom during the last 2 days. Ma'am, may our path be illuminated by your insightful and profound observations. To you, ma'am, Urmila ma'am.
As per your instruction, I have muted myself, so I unmuted. Thank you so much for your wonderful speech.
Ma'am, please do unmute yourself, ma'am.
Words. Okay, no?
Yes, ma'am, please go on.
My honorable colleague, M.K. Sinha ji, O.P. Mishra ji, and my learned principals. I don't want to take name क्योंकि एक भी छूट गया तो उसको लगेगा कि मैम ने मुझे छोड़ दिया. All my learned colleagues, the senior ones, the middle ones, the latest addition in Jharkhand Zone A, B, and D, and the youth. I call all my teachers youth, the warriors, who have made this 2-day program a grand success. And the best part is that the time management, except in few cases, and I happen to go, Sumana is right, in almost all the sessions. And amongst all the best session, I would like to share was the fine arts session presented by Neeraj Pathak from DAV Bharech Nagar. Lovely session, lovely, wonderful example of art integration. Lovely example. All of you must ask your fine arts teacher to present the same in your school also, in front of all the teachers, how art can be integrated in teaching with a very simple way. The way he recited that Hindi poem, Nao Chali, Nani ki Nana ki Nao Chali, and other things which he collected. It was a wonderful one. हम लोग यहाँ लोग तवज्जो नहीं देते हैं, फाइन आर्ट्स म्यूजिक लोगों ऐसे करते हैं, but CBSE has taken this art integrated learning, and we in 10th class we have to prepare a project also, last year also and this year also. So my art teachers are also coming on the platform and excelling, which I really appreciate. I really liked it. Somewhere in the same session today in fine arts, one teacher was struggling for time management. So I asked him, this is what we are teaching our children also, how to manage the time, how to complete the questions given for examination in time. So a teacher also has to plan. And many of my coordinators, our coordinators, they went for pre-workshop sessions that helped them to manage the time. In time they could complete, and the actual time which was given for interaction could be utilized. And all my teachers of different zones, they were so actively interacting so actively. Even they were interpreting in between also. No, this is not like that. It should be like this. That shows everybody was eager to learn. The thirst, the hunger of learning was everywhere. And my friends, I only request you all to translate the good things of learning which you got into these 2 days to the actual stakeholders, the students, and inspire them, inspire your children to reach for the stars, dream for tomorrow, but live for today. My friends, as success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You should not be overexcited with success, and you should not cry also with failures. These two things are the life skill which is to be transferred to our children as well. Take the success, take the failure, because if you fail, you have something more to do. If you cannot become a leader, you can become a guide. And this is what I was observing all these 2 days. And it was a good learning for me also. Sometimes when I entered in physics, कुछ पढ़ा रहे थे, मेरे को बहुत नहीं समझ में आया. पर लोगों का जो वहाँ एक्टिविटी हो रहा था, facial, I could understand, take the session is going on very nicely. And on my request, 2 coordinators, Mr. Ashok and Mr. H.K. Jha, they took 2 sessions. And the concluding session, one session was today of Mr. Ashok Kumar in the morning. And there was one concluding session, which on my request only, Mr. Jha had prepared, how to transfer the learning to classrooms. They say कि खाली हम लोग पढ़ाते हैं, चले जाते हैं. His topic was assessment of the workshop and transferring learning outcomes to classroom. He took session for full 1 hour. And that is what from the next, whenever we have our workshops, I would like the coordinators and moderators to have a session. The concluding session, if we could do it, it would be much better, so that there is, in the beginning, it's not of that use. But when 2 days or 3 days is done, then the teachers also, they start realizing as to what they have to do. But they get stuck how to do it. So it will be a better guide for all, even for us. And the session which Mr. Ashok took today, that was also very good session. Even CBSE is presenting this session. Sir, topic tha Ashok ji, SQ kya tha? Ashok ji, you are there?
EQ, IQ, SQ.
Yes, yes, yes. This is demand of the day. And I'll not take much time. I have lots of praise for all of you, with a request to all AROs to give a leave to all the teachers in place of today, for today's Sunday. This is one thing. Second thing, it's a suggestion. You have a wonderful group. You have created a group. Why do you wait only for us to plan out your sessions? Why don't you people meet frequently in a week or fortnightly, so that you people can discuss the latest changes, or if you are getting stuck up in some particular topic? सोचो कि गप मारने के लिए ही जमा हुए हैं. I think if we try, this will, जैसे हम principals कभी कभी महीने में 15 दिन में एक बार कभी कुछ ऐसा आया तो हम लोग लिंक से जुड़ जाते हैं. You people have a wonderful group. Please try this also, and I will also request the coordinators to encourage the teachers to meet. और आप भी कभी समय निकाल के उसमें जाएं, तो शायद ये थ्रू आउट लर्निंग प्रोसेस होगा, ये किसी डेट के लिए वेटिंग का नहीं रहेगा. एंड आई थिंक दिस इम्पैक्ट विल बी reflected also in the classroom teaching and finally in the result where we all aim at. And बहुत टाइम ले लिया मैंने शायद. Thanks to all of you from core of my heart. Jai Hind, Jai Jharkhand, and Jai DAV.
Thank you, madam.
Over to Sumona.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, your words have infused us with so much of courage, confidence, and inspiration, ma'am. You are truly, truly a guiding light. And your observations reflect the depth and the clarity with which you have been going around each and every session. You have been dissecting, you have been disseminating all the information, ma'am, and how intuitively you are connected to each and every one of us through these sessions. I'm so thankful to you, ma'am, that we all have you under your protective umbrella. Thank you so much, ma'am. Please be our torchbearer. Moving on. An intellectual congregation of this nature cannot be complete without ascertaining and determining what is the quantum of learning that we have so generously shared with each other and will be disseminating to our young proteges in the classroom in the near future. I begin the takeaway session by inviting the representative from the English department, Mr. Sadashiv Jha, who is from SSDAV Khuti, who will highlight the key takeaways and the lessons learned. Over to you, Mr. Jha.
I am Sadashiv Jha from DAV Khuti. A very hearty good afternoon to all the dignitaries and luminaries and also to the galaxy of resource persons as well as learned teachers. Let me tell you that this August webinar proved to be the pious confluence of vast knowledge and experience of the learned resource persons like Mr. P.S. Das, Mr. Pratibha Singh, Mrs. Jaya Rahtogi, Mrs. Jaya Jaiswal, revered principal and subject coordinator Sri Ashok Kumar sir, Mr. Narayan Chandra Padhi sir, Mrs. Sudeshna Bandopadhyay madam, and Sri G.K. Pathak sir to facilitate the teaching learning process to a great extent. I have learned a lot of methodology and approaches, and I will implement them in classroom very sensibly and gratefully. The first session was taken up by Mr. P.S. Das to focus on the topic effective implementation of NEP 2022. He opened that this policy aims at 100% gross enrollment ratio by 2030 by imparting global knowledge and vocational education. There will be no hard separation between arts and science or commerce subjects. In this new education policy, curriculum has been reduced to the core essential. This policy emphasizes critical thinking, analytical thinking, and international thinking. The NEP proposes 5 + 3 + 3 + 4 years format.
Mr. Jha,
Yes.
Mr. S.S. Jha, you simply enumerate the takeaways. We know who were presenting and topics we know. Okay, na? This is not
I
the
have learned a lot.
What you have learned, what takeaways? At least 4 takeaways every speaker has to give. We only want the takeaways. We have the schedule. किस टीचर ने क्या present किया. We want the takeaways so that other participants also who are present can enrich themselves, and we also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Only the takeaways, if you understand the takeaways.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, may I now request Mr. Sachin Kumar from DAV Hehal to enlighten us on the key takeaways from the maths seminar. Over to you,
Honorable Ma'am,
Mr. Sachin Kumar.
Urmila Singh. Yes, ma'am. Honorable Ma'am, Dr. Urmila Singh, Yarrow, Jharkhand Zone D. Sri M.K. Sinha Sir, Yarrow Zone M.K. Sinha Sir, Yarrow Zone B. Sri O.P. Misra Sir, Yarrow Zone A. Subject coordinators Sri R.K. Sinha Sir and S.R. Prasad Sir, and my respected colleagues. Today's workshop was very fruitful for us. 8 sessions. In 8 sessions, 8 resource persons have delivered their topic nicely with the help of modern days technologies and PPTs. The session, which is the topic domain and range, which is discussed by Mr. K.N. Jha sir, domain with the help of graph, how to find the domain and range of the function. We have learned from how to find the domain and range with the help of graph, and Harpreet sir, who have discussed how to count the total number of relations, how many number of reflexive relations, number of symmetric relations, and number of.
Mr. Sachin Kumar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
मैडम ने क्लियर कट इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया, गाइड किया कि आपको सिर्फ टेक अवे बोलना है, ओनली 4 टेक अवेज. Don't say that what and how they have taught or what they have taught, right? Only take away. Concentrate only on take away. All the delegates, those who are presenting, they are requested to only focus on the takeaways.
The useful from presentation we have learned how to plot a graph, because the graph is very useful for the student when we discuss in class how to plot the graph of function in mathematics. The whole calculus totally depend on the graph. We have discussed in this seminar how to plot a graph of different types of function, counting of how to count the total number of function with the help of permutation and combination, which is delivered by the teachers, research persons, and how to find a conditional theorem of probability. Many day-to-day life examples are given by the research person Amit Acharya sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Mr. Mukesh Roy from DAV Khalari, who will enumerate in brief on the key takeaways from the physics webinar. Over to you, Mr. Mukesh Roy.
Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon to all the dignitaries, seniors, and my dear colleagues. This 2 days capacity building program has proved to be very fruitful for us, as we have covered most of the features of NAP 2020 in a nutshell. All the sessions were full of activities, real life situations, and learner-centric. We have got rejuvenated by all the sessions. In terms of takeaways, we have learned the skill of presentation, identifying learner-centering approaches in any topic, making lesson plan based on CBE and main features of NAP 2020. We have learned a very new and innovative approach to take up the topic oscillation and linking it with other similar topics too. We have learned how to inculcate critical thinking and a spirit of inquiry based upon activities on any topics to be taught. We have learned and got familiar with new techniques to take up the topic relative velocity in 1 dimension and 2 dimension. We have also got recharged with the importance of experiential learning and ways of actual presentation in classroom situation. Not these takeaways only, but also we have learned and discussed the ways of transferring learning outcomes to our main stakeholders. I, on behalf of physics faculty, do promise that these learning outcomes will be transferred to the classroom so that our stakeholders may get benefited to the maximum extent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed a very fruitful session. Next, we have Mrs. Archana Sinha from DAV Bistupur, who will highlight the key takeaways from the chemistry webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Honorable dignitaries, all principals, our coordinator and observer of the capacity building program of chemistry, and all my worthy colleagues, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. I'm Archana Sinha from Chemistry Department, DAV Public School, Bistupur, Jamshedpur. The two-day capacity building program for in-service chemistry teachers was very interactive, informative, and fruitful. The takeaways of this two-day session: there was a special focus on framing of objective type questions, especially multiple choice questions, which are the prevalent practice these days. In the second day, we saw a very good explanation on the benefits of hands-on learning and its long-lasting impact on minds of children. We also learned the ways to preparation of lesson plan based on NEP 2020 parameters. The last presentation of the webinar threw light on the common errors of solving numerical problems of chemistry. On the whole, the chemistry capacity building program was very productive and illuminating for the teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Indeed, very interactive and intellectually very stimulating sessions in your department. So I think the credit goes to all the teachers, the entire faculty. And now, may I request Honorable Shri M.K. Sinha, sir, our ARO, come cluster head of DAV public schools that come under Jharkhand, Zone B, to kindly enlighten us and enrich us with his words.
Most respectable, our learned colleagues, Dr. Urmila Singh ma'am, ARO Jharkhand Zone D, Shri O.P. Mishra ji, ARO Jharkhand Zone A, all our colleague principals, as a subject coordinator, as observer, all the master trainers, subject experts, and of course delegates. First of all, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the subject coordinators as well as the master trainers who prepared their PPT and presented before the delegates very well. And almost all this representative of different subjects, they told that the session was very interactive, very illuminating, very fruitful, very stimulating. But the same thing should be transferred to the classroom. Now I'm saying whatever I have observed, except two subjects, I have attended at least one session in all subjects. And I have pointed out individually the shortcomings, the suggestions. In one session, I found that in English session, that no sound was there. When after 5 minutes, when I asked any teacher, then he responded. Then I asked, what happened? कहा सर वो लेसन खत्म हो गया 40 मिनट्स में. हमारा 1.5 घंटे का सेशन है 40 मिनट्स में. Then you should interact. हमने एक क्वेश्चन दिया, then they started interacting and it continued till 1.5 hours. all the delegates, all the this were very particular to it, but I would like to tell you one thing. कई को मैंने देखा कि जब वो ऑनलाइन इस वेबिनार में थे, फिजिकली कनेक्ट नहीं थे, फिजिकली कनेक्ट थे, मेंटली कनेक्ट नहीं थे। ये हमारी पहचान भी होती है, जब हमें कोई देख नहीं रहा होता है तो जो हम करते हैं वही हमारा एक्चुअल बिहेवियर होता है। तो जब भी ऑनलाइन हो या वेबिनार हम कंडक्ट करते हैं, I would like to request all the delegates to very particular, very specific, and listen carefully. And if you have any opinion, you share with the master trainer, to the resource person, so that it can be more beneficial to all of us. All of us know once I have read one thing, that everything comes from the hand of nature, is absolutely pure. But when it comes to the hands of society, it destroys. Same way, we can say that every child is reflection of God. He or she is absolutely pure, innocent, and free from all kinds of duplicating and manipulation. What they become, it depends upon us, family, society, and teachers, of course. So we as a teacher, as a school, we should not spare anything unturned to make them, to inculcate them to be a good human being, and so that they can face the changing world and whatever the challenges comes in the life. Our responsibility is to stimulate curiosity in our young mind and equip them with tools which will help them to become a better human being. Education is most powerful tools to empower an individual and consequently instrumental of the social change. As Einstein said, that education is not only education is not only learning the fact, but training the mind to think. So it would be better to teach them not only what to think, but how to think. We should inculcate among the children in like physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I have attended. They prepared very well. The first session I attended, Mr. Jeevan Pandey, he was demonstrating that how the charge happened on the body and it transferred from one body to another body. So other teachers should also demonstrate, they can also prepare the same and demonstrate in the class. So what I would like to say, that we should not teach our students how to succeed in examination. Rather, we should teach how to succeed in life. So all the teachers, I would like to request to implement the same in the classroom teaching and learning. And I think from Monday, from tomorrow, there must be some difference what we have, what we were and what we will be. And you know the very famous quotation of Sid Khera, that winners do not do different things, but they do things differently. As same way, successful teacher and effective teachers do not different things, but they teach differently. Their methods of teaching, their skill of teaching is different. So we should imbibe all the things. We should learn whatever we have learned, implement the same technique in the classroom and classroom teaching and learning. Then it will be more beneficial to our students and all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for pointing out the gray areas where we need a course correction. As teachers, we cannot fail in our duty towards our students. Moving on, to our takeaway session. May I now call upon Dr. N.K. Pandey from DAV Kapildev Public School, who will be representing the biology webinar, and in brief will highlight the key takeaways from the sessions. Over to you, sir.
Honorable ARO Ma'am, Dr. Nurinder Singh, Sri MP Sinha Sir, and Sri O.P. Mishra Sir, respected principals, coordinators, and learned colleagues. From last 2 days, we are learning lot in biology, and one time I found amalgamation of teachers just like previous. And when we all teachers gathered at one point from 3 zones, then interacted especially on those areas that is especially very difficult and teachers not in position to implement properly in classroom teaching. For examples, our integration is today's normal need as per National Education Policies 2022. And in biology subject, we have started from that learning. 4 sessions already started yesterday with art integrated learning in biology, because physics, chemistry, mathematics is very tedious subject. Biology subject having full of entertainment. So how we can imbibe the students in the classroom by the help of biology that we have learned. I'm highlighting these points. Art integration, suppose we are making rangoli in the school premises, then we should make rangoli of the heart, organs, brain, different parts of the elementary canals. So in this way, when we will implement the school premises from lower classes to higher classes, student will learn each and everything in playing mode. Number 1. Number 2, cell division, cell cycle, their regulation, how growth takes place in our body, how reproduction is possible. In these ways, art integration process, when we will discuss in the classroom, then it will be very fruitful. In second days, we have learned lots in biology subject. There is possibility of comparison of soul with gene. How discovery of the gene? Soul is immortal, gene is immortal. And we have comparatively already verified in the learning session, and every teachers imbibe with this session. What is genetic transformation? How application of genes takes place in bioinformatics and biotechnologies. In present scenario, not only doctor and engineer required, there are a lot of research workers required. That type of the knowledge we should transfer in the classroom that we have learned. At last, I want to focus in biology subject. What is the role of the protein? How much protein required in our diet? Enzymatic role, constructive role, and a structural role, whatever the things that is required for the healthy maintenance that we have learned in a teaching learning session. And at last, I want to say, our coordinator always coordinating just like a subject teacher. And that is very nice part of our subject. She is already integrating each and everything in each session. With these words, I want to say this type of the session always required, not individual zone teaching learning process required. It is required at integrated thing. Thank you.
I would just a suggestion, if we could have these takeaways, the subject coordinators, the observers, when they would be filling their forms, observer forms, they must mention the takeaways so that we can also go through it once again, and then we can transfer to our teachers as well.
In
Thank you,
subject
ma'am.
physics, madam, we have already asked the teachers to prepare the takeaways of the session, and that will be well circulated
It's
on all
okay.
schools.
It's okay. The observers, when they fill the form now, and the subject coordinators also, they have that column of takeaways. That helps us. Then we can forward to all the schools for implementation also. Yes, Sumana?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Dr. Pandey, for taking a leaf out of NEP 2020 and implementing it straight to the classroom. So hats off for your endeavor, sir. And moving on, now I'd like to invite Mr. Sujay Mishra from Agrasen DAV Bharich who will be representing the Commerce Department and will be highlighting in brief the key takeaways. Over to you, Mr. Mishra.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Very good afternoon to everyone. Most honorable AROs, Zone A, B, D, all dynamic principals, sirs and ma'ams, most talented teachers. I, Sujay Mishra from Agrasen DAV Public School, Bharich. On behalf of our commerce team, Zone A, B, D, feel immense pleasure and honor to put forward my views towards training-based webinar of 2 days, that is 30th and 31st July 2022. Actually, these 2 days we felt like we are inside the ocean of knowledge. Actually, 8 seminars in 2 days, it matters. Nicely planned and arranged by our subject coordinator, sir, also. Our coordinator, sir, also. We discussed subject topics, cleared our doubts, syllabus change, the themes, syllabus we had discussed about, and we discussed about question pattern and the marking scheme that is updated by the CBSE also. So we are feeling more energized, and now we will start again with full enthusiasm and passion. So at last, I extend a warm and appreciative thanks for offering us such a nice platform for teaching and learning process. Being Deviants is to keep dreaming, believing in ourselves, and having focused approach, and overall grooming our skills and personality. So thank you all for your love and support and blessings. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for feeling energized and for energizing us also and for transferring this energy to the live classroom, sir. So it's all about this transfer of learning. That is why we are here. And now I'd like to move on to the Humanities Department. And the representative, Miss Mithu Dey from DAV Gumla, will enumerate further on the key takeaways. Over to you, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am, it is not Miss, Mr. Mithun Kumar Dey.
Oh,
It's Mr. Mithun Dey.
I beg your pardon, sir. I beg your pardon. Over to Mr. Mithun Dey.
Okay. A warm good afternoon to one and all. Madam, being a teacher of humanity, it's a great challenge to make the students understand that humanities have a ocean-like vast career opportunities. But this webinar helps us a lot to convey the message that humanities have a vast career opportunities. This webinar makes us competent enough to make the students a good decision maker, knowledgeable and skillful through competency-based education. As we know, the traditional chalk and duster cannot only cope up with the present day challenges. So we are going to use various teaching resources like the use of Google Earth, ICT, and to apply blended teaching. This webinar reminds us that we are not only teachers, but also counselors. During this 2-day webinar, we have changed our mindset from traditional route of learning to practical learning. Madam, we believe that we can change the mindset of the society towards humanities. Our humanity group is eagerly waiting for the next round of webinar to make us more competent. Thank you, madam.
Yes, sir. And we wish you all the best, sir. Yes, sir. And we wish you all the best, sir, in all your endeavors, all your future endeavors. Raring to go, sir. I too am from humanities, and I wish the same for all of us. Okay. And we come to the last department. That is the Economics Department, represented by Mrs. Anuradha Singh from DAV Hehal, who will tell us about the key highlights of this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all dignitaries and all my learned colleagues. I am representing the Economics Department, and on behalf of all the fellow members of the Economics, I'm here to present the takeaways. The first takeaway, the biggest takeaway I can say during this 2 days webinar was that economics being a subject of relevance for all the three streams, science, arts, as well as commerce, we learned how to inculcate the scientific temperament as well as the art integrated learning, because it is an amalgamation of both the numericals as well as the theoretical part. So how to make the class interactive, how to make the class interesting, and how to develop that scientific temperament. The second takeaway was to satisfy the quest as to how, why. If the student learn why, how the schedule is being made, or why this graph is of this tendency, then if their how and why is satisfied, they'll be easily able to understand. The third is to again imbibe the experiential learning, as economics is everywhere in life and in our day-to-day life. So experiential learning is our third takeaway, which we will transfer to our students in the school. And the fourth takeaway here is that how to transfer this, whatever we have learned, how to develop that the entrepreneurship skills in the students, as we are proceeding towards making India a global knowledge superpower and skilled India, as the government is focusing. So we have to move the steps ahead, and these 2 days seminar was one small step towards the mission and vision of NEP 2020 to make India a global knowledge superpower. So first, we teachers will be the superpowers, then only we can make our students the superpowers. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So beautifully enumerated in a nutshell. Thank you.
Sumana,
DAV. Yes, ma'am.
Sumana, sorry to
Yes,
interrupt. I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
Anuradha was not the last one we have missed. Hindi and our art subjects, other. We can club fine arts, music, library, and PHE we have missed, and we have missed Hindi also.
Okay, ma'am. So may I now call upon ma'am, we are still not sure whether they have joined or not, whether the link has been sent to them or not. So until ma'am, they can join after because
You can send message to Mr. Baldev or any teacher from Hindi from Hehal also, जिसका भी है आपके पास. हिंदी डिपार्टमेंट में लिंक भेजने से चला जाएगा लिंक. एंड फाइन आर्ट्स इसमें किसी इंचार्ज को लगा दो, क्योंकि 4 टीम एक साथ थी. बिकॉज आर्ट इंटीग्रेटेड लर्निंग में बहुत बड़ा रोल है, चाहे वो पीटीआई हो, चाहे वो फाइन आर्ट्स हो, चाहे वो म्यूजिक हो. लाइब्रेरी का भी उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट.
Okay,
may I? Hindi, Baldev.
Yes, ma'am. Surely. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Baldev.
आगे बढ़िए. आप आगे बढ़िए मैम, अपना
Yes, ma'am.
कर दिए, तब तक बलदेव को दे रहे हैं.
Okay, DAV seminars and workshops are a powerhouse of knowledge and shared information. How effectively we are able to transfer it to the classrooms, that is our next challenge. And may I now call upon Honorable Shri U.P. Mishra, sir, to shed some more light on this, on his thoughts and his observation. Over to you, sir.
Respected Madam Dr. Urmila Singh, ARO and Cluster Head Jharkhand Zone D, respected Shri M.K. Sinha sir, ARO and Cluster Head Jharkhand Zone B, all my learned colleague principals, resource persons, master trainers, and participating teachers. This 2 days webinar, which has been jointly organized by Jharkhand A, B, and D, it is the finest example of combined teamwork. All of us, we work together and the result is before us. I'm subject teachers, master trainers, they have really worked hard in order to plan out the presentation, make the presentation, and to deliver the presentation, and making the interactive sessions after each presentation more and more interesting. Definitely, in this 2 days webinar, all the teachers are being benefited. As it has been pointed out by Madam and Sir, that it is the main concern of DAV CAE or us, our concern is that how to transfer this training to the classroom, how really it should reach to each and every child in the school. We are really very happy and pleased to see the takeaways being delivered by the representatives of various subjects. Apart from achieving academic excellence, getting 100% marks or 95% marks in various subjects, I think all the teachers should give equal emphasis in order to develop skills among the students. Ultimately, at the end of the day, marks doesn't become that much important when it comes to facing the life. So to develop skills among the students, that should also be given top priority. All of us, we agree that things are changing very fast. Every day, some or one or other invention, discoveries are being taken place. More and more challenges, they are before the students to face. No doubt, various career options are there. More and more opportunities are there, but competitions are also, they have also increased. We should make our best possible efforts so that our students, they should, when they enter into the professional life, they should be able enough to face the challenges, to face the competitions, and to emerge as winners. That should also be considered, other than scoring very good marks or giving very good result to school. A complete development of human being, that should be prioritized. We need to make them physically as well as mentally strong, tough, even to face the failures, how to face the odd situation. That should also be given equal importance. Really, it was very nice that each and every participating master trainers and in all the subjects, the presentation was very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, your mic is new. Ma'am, your mic is.
Thank you, sir, for emphasizing on the need to develop life skills that go beyond marks and examination, which is why Swami Vivekananda said that education is the manifestation of the perfection that is already in man. It is our duty that we guide our children to the path of that perfection. As teachers, we are bound to it. And now, ma'am, may I request you if Mr. Baldev from the Hindi department has, whether he is there, if he's there, he can join in.
मैम मेरी ओर से हिंदी की ओर से माला मैम भरेच नगर अपनी बातें रखेंगी। माला मैम सुन पा रही हैं मुझे?
बिल्कुल सर।
हाँ बोले।
माननीय कलेक्टर सह प्रशिक्षण समन्वयक डॉक्टर उर्मिला सिंह मैम जॉन डी, माननीय कलेक्टर सह प्रशिक्षण समन्वयक श्री M.K. सिन्हा सर जोन डी, माननीय कलेक्टर सह प्रशिक्षण समन्वयक श्री O.P. मिश्रा सर जोन ए, माननीय विषय समन्वयक श्री राजीव रंजन झा सर एवं पर्यवेक्षक रमेश कुमार, सभी को मेरा सत नमन। मैम, उच्चतर माध्यमिक स्तर पर 2 दिवसीय आवासीय क्षमता निर्माण कार्यक्रम हमारे विषय समन्वयक प्राचार्य श्री राजीव रंजन झा सर की देखरेख में निर्विघ्न में संपन्न हुआ। इस कार्यक्रम में जोन ए, जोन बी एवं जोन डी के 46 शिक्षक शिक्षिकाओं ने हिस्सा लिया। इस 2 दिवसीय कार्यशाला में 8 सत्र आयोजित किए गए, जिसमें 21वीं सदी के नवीन शिक्षण पद्धतियां, साधारण हिंदी, रचनात्मक लेखन व नाट्य लेखन के विभिन्न बिंदुओं पर चर्चा हुई। इस प्रशिक्षण से हम सभी नए तकनीकी कौशलों से अवगत हुए, विभिन्न क्रियाकलाप आधारित तथ्यों पर विचार विमर्श हुआ और उच्चतर माध्यमिक कक्षाओं में बच्चों को लाभ पहुंचाने की बातें की गई। धन्यवाद मैम।
Dhanyavad, ma'am, and thank you for presenting the takeaways at such short notice. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now, Urmila, ma'am, may I request you if there's any representative from the fine arts section?
Unmute, madam.
Thank you. We had observer for miscellaneous Mr. H.K. Jha, Principal DAV Chiria. Is he here? Mr. S.K. Jha?
Yes, madam.
सर आपने सब जगह सब सेशन में घूमे होंगे, तो आप बताएं कुछ.
Actually, I was, madam, in music department, and music department teachers very excellently presented how music is related to our students' education system, and they have done very well, performed very well their presentation. So I wish that will come very nicely in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Urmila, ma'am, is there any other department that we have not yet reached out to?
नो, ये मिसलेनियस ग्रुप एक था 4 जिसके ये ऑब्जर्वर थे, पर इन्होंने सिर्फ म्यूजिक का प्रेजेंटेशन दिया. कोई नहीं, विल टॉक टू देम.
Okay, ma'am. Yes. Another eventful chapter of CBP 2020-22 comes to a close. And let me remind you that at this juncture, there are more than 320 teachers who have joined us through the YouTube link. So that itself speaks about the level of commitment and passion that our teachers attach to these kind of capacity building sessions. Thank you, all of us, to each one of us, and thank you to the DAV Parivar for having given us this spirit, the go-getting spirit, and this level of perfection. That is what we are living, and that is what we are going to die for. Now may I request Honorable Shri S.K. Pathak, sir, Principal of DAV Jhikpani, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Yes, and we will vote of thanks on behalf of Jharkhand Zone A, B, and D. On the concluding day of 2 days online capacity building program under my thanks to the PS1 level to conduct the training program. Which conducts training program for the teachers every year to equip them with latest teaching methodology. Our DAV-CAE always expects that our learning outcome must be reflected through a better percentage of marks of the students and better QPI of the school. I am thankful to Dr. Urmila Singh, ARO cum Training Coordinator, Jharkhand Zone D. Ma'am is a good academician, a good administrator, she is visionary, and above all, she is a true guardian figure who always obliges us with her invaluable suggestions. Thank you, ma'am. I am thankful to Honorable Sri M.K. Sinha sir, ARO cum Training Coordinator, Jharkhand. Sir is hyperdynamic, a man of action, and his methodological approach always makes us feel motivated. I am thankful to Honorable Sri O.P. Mitra Sir, ARO cum Training Coordinator, Jharkhand Zone A. Sir is no doubt a person with probity and perception, and his inspiring words always prove to be a real catalyst for us. I am thankful to all my learned senior principal colleagues and my contemporary principal colleagues who were assigned the duty of subject coordinator and observer. They put up their strenuous efforts and accomplished their task with efficacy successfully. I'm thankful to students who led the topic, they prepared duties, and they made the lessons lively with their beautiful presentation. I am thankful to the participants without whose active participation this 2 days webinar could not be successful. I am thankful to team teachers of both schools, DAV Health, DAV and IT, and other schools who left no unturned to make this webinar worthwhile. I am thankful to those who contributed directly or indirectly to make this webinar a success. Lastly, I am thankful to each and everyone present in this valedictory session. Thank you.
And we all are thankful to you, sir. And with these words, I would like to come to the conclusion of this session with a beautiful invocation to the Almighty in the form of Shantipat by Mr. D.P. Shastri from DAV Public School NIT campus. Over to you, Shastri sir. May I request all of you to kindly mute your mobiles. Once again, may I request all of you to kindly mute your mobiles. Thank you. Over to you, Shastri sir.
सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। आइए इस वेबिनार की सफलता हेतु परमपिता परमात्मा का धन्यवाद करते हुए संसार के कण कण में शांति की कामना करें। ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सा मा शान्तिरेधि। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम सबको नमस्ते।
सभी को नमस्ते।
Beautiful rendition, Shastri sir. We part so that we can meet again. And with these words, I would like to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patient hearing. Thank you so much. Good day.
Thanks to Sumana also for coordinating so nicely. Thank you.
Thank you everyone and bye-bye. See
नमस्ते
you soon.
मैडम।